comment session go first normally. We would start with something else, a presentation or whatever. But since everyone is here and ready to go, we've had our 3 statements by members of the Public Safety Committee. And I will let the public speak now at this point. Just a few ground rules. Please limit your remarks to 5 minutes tops. Keep it brief. There's a lot of people here, as have been mentioned, different sides of the issue, and just be respectful and
Buffalo and Rochester's. However, we did keep in the traditional language in section 198-2E subsection 13 regarding motor vehicles, which allows police officers, based upon prima facie evidence of loud noises, to in essence shut those noises down and issue tickets. So the police department still has the ability with any of these events to control the noise if it becomes excessive. And that is all for my comments.
thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak?
I'm Doug Champ with 225 Bowling Street in Jamestown. I'm here tonight not to proclaim any kind of stop or go aspect to any particular event. The Corporation Council addressed to some extent the issue of the noise ordinance. And I've talked about this before, and I've got the background to talk about it some more. This noise ordinance as written, although it's lifted, it's not an acceptable noise ordinance. You have 1 decibel meter in the city that you use. The police officers have none. So how does noise enforcement take place now? By complaint, by listening through the physical ear, and writing a ticket. Probably not enforceable in a court of law, because you don't have the register material on the noise meter to back the police officer up. If someone challenges that, I don't know exactly what would happen. We have breath analysis, we have signs, we have lights. Those are evidential material. So to read this one particular item around motor vehicle issues, it's pretty amazing that it's in there and written like that. And I think it's important that we understand that this is the enforcement that's within the document, dealing exactly with motor vehicles. So motor vehicles mean motorcycles, trucks, anything. And here it is. The playing of any radio, music player, or audio system in a motor vehicle at such volume as to disturb the quiet, comfort, or repose of other citizens at a volume which is plainly audible to persons other than the occupants of such vehicle, the operation and of the above in such a manner to be plainly audible at a distance of 10 feet. 10 feet. That's what's in your ordinance, 10 feet. From the vehicle at which is located shall be prima facie, which means the evidence of a violation is ticketable. How do you do that? I mean, I can hear things coming from a quarter of a mile away. So everything in this city, when I lived in the city for 45 years, is about impact. Impact on my neighbors, impact on my street, impact on my community. So we got to understand impacts and how impacts work. There's noise and there's nuisance noise. So some people, they don't want any noise. Well, no, well, then move into country. But they can't do that right now. The other major point is this. Just today, the number of COVID cases have gone up in this area. The dashboard in the county says 49 new cases, 25 of which are in the city of Jameson. As of today. What's going to happen a month from now, I don't know. But I do know one thing. If the level of case designation goes up, then any group, whoever it may be, wanting to have a public event, has got to be facing a situation of COVID virus exchange. Whether it's our citizens, whether it's our visitors. So by all means, if this event or any event in the future is agreed upon in terms of being permitted, it must have a threshold of measuring out the cases of COVID that we have in our community. That is for everybody, not any specific group or anyone. Because we have to protect our citizens, we have to protect the people that visit our community. And if you ignore this in any form or fashion, what's it gonna do? Just a spreader event, non-spreader event? People say we got the Babe Ruth World Series down there, but they are on the cutting edge of what they call substantial increases in numbers. Now, you may have no control over any of this. You may have to shut things down. So I really believe 2 points I want to reference. The noise ordinance is not an acceptable noise ordinance as written. It's not enforceable. It will not carry out the effects that you want to have, because when you say 10 feet away from a car, that means somebody across the street is too loud. And the COVID aspect, that's up for you to decide. You don't want to have a situation where somebody's going to point City of Jamestown, well, they had an event, and then you do tracers on this, and the event indicates that some people got COVID because they came to Jamestown for this event. I hope that doesn't happen. And that's any event that you forecast in the future. So it's not about anything that the noise ordinance is one thing. And another aspect too, in your event when you get out a so-called escalation of decibels, there is no ceiling on an event that's permitted in terms of decibels. 85 decibels are too much for children. They start eroding away their ability and hearing. And guys like me have been in the military and gone through explosions and other stuff, already have bad enough. So that's all I got to say. Not stopping anything, not saying anything is bad, not anything that we wish we couldn't do better, but there are issues out there that are beyond your control, and you've got to acknowledge that.
Thank you.
John N. Smith, Hazeltine Avenue near the park. Basically, the reason I'm up here is I thought I was prepared, maybe I'm not, but I just didn't want to sit through a meeting where all these people showed up and, okay, now it's time to speak, and oh, nobody got up, meeting's over, you know, and then everybody's going, durr. So anyway, my issue would be, as a resident, that sound carries rather strangely in that neighborhood, and it does. You think something's not loud, but the sound does carry. And also, I think part of what people misunderstand or don't like is that this was originally approved on June 7th, and most people were not aware of it until August 2nd. You know, that's, I don't know. I've got a page of the Post-Journal here from the morning of June 7th, and it says, in other business, and then tax revenue, and it gets down to another bullet point. The Council's Public Safety Committee will discuss the special event permit for the Juneteenth celebration that will be held at the Jackson Taylor Park on Friday, June 18th. And then it says certain fees were going to be waived in honor of the memory of Vicki James. So, so it doesn't mention a word about this event going on. And basically, most people in my neighborhood sadly aren't subscribing to the paper anymore, and most people don't know about this. And it's not whether you have an event or who is having the event, it is the level of decibels, the noise, the you know, what's going to happen throughout the neighborhood. And much like the other councilwoman, I looked up some decibel ratings, and you know, we live in a world of 0 to 140 decibels, and according to the Noisy Planet website, 70 decibels is normally considered safe. Exposure to 85 decibels over the course of time can result in some hearing loss. The EPA recommends urban outdoor levels to be in the 45 to 55 range. According to HealthLink CA, being near a lawnmower is 90 decibels. Jet engine taking off is about 100. A very loud rock concert is 120. And according to the Center for Disease Control, there's a quote, loud noise above 120 decibels can cause immediate harm to your ears. 120 decibels for 5 minutes can be dangerous. 100 for 15 minutes can be dangerous, and 95 for 47 minutes can be dangerous. And I'll let that part go if I have a couple more minutes. Basically, it's about the noise ordinance and how the noise ordinances existed throughout the 21st century. And up until recently, it really hasn't been based on decibels. It's just been based on a complaining neighbor or an opinion of a police officer. And you know, like you're not allowed to mow your lawn before 7 o'clock in the morning, or you're not supposed to do carpentry at a certain time. Or if you're 10 feet away from a car or 25 feet away from a front door, you can get in trouble with the police for a loud stereo. And they have given people traffic tickets, and they have arrested people at their house. And in the noise ordinance, when the city was on its arresting people for swearing kick all the time, that was usually one of the justifications for doing that. Oh, you violated the noise ordinance, you yelled beepity beep, you know. And so the noise ordinance has a kind of dubious history, and the also because a elderly resident objected to a downtown event noise, the city goes and changes it so that a permit holder for a festival can't get in trouble for the noise ordinance. So I don't know, some people might think that's kind of a selective enforcement or showing favoritism, or that might not be right either. And also, it is the amount of noise. Well, maybe you guys went and did that last Thursday, but nobody knew you were there. That was kept quiet. No, I don't know if it's the media's fault or you know, the city just does things and you're expected to go check on them yourself or what, I don't know.
Mr. Smith, can you wrap it up? It's 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to that, sir, and I'll try to only be a few more seconds, but anyway, I do believe the people who live in that neighborhood should be given preference over people from other parts of the city or people who are coming from Pennsylvania or Florida. I do believe it is the safety of the residents, and I do believe it is Ms. Karuba's job to stick up for the safety of the residents, and that's what I believe. And also, I called the County Board of Elections today And 8 of you are running for re-election this year. This is local election year, folks, and 6 of these people are running challenger opposed. They have opponents, and this is a political issue. This is City Hall. You're politicians.
Okay, please wrap it up, sir.
Okay, it's wrapped up.
Thank you. Anyone else like to address the council?
Hello, my name is Esteban Cordova. It's 217 Newland. I'm also the owner of AJ's Custom Streetwear. I'm here on behalf of the Los Contrecantes Car Club and Bike Crew. We've been established for 2.5 years, okay? We have the speakers, as you guys can tell. You've seen the speakers. In the past 2.5 years, have you guys got any reports on the Los Contrecantes with the loud music, just general period? No. So that could show you how Jose, as the president, has been keeping our music under control, okay? We do birthday parades for a lot of kids, okay? In the past 2.5 years, we've given between $10,000 to $15,000 to the community of Jamestown. No one knows about that. We didn't ask for money from you guys. That's all from us. That we've come out of pocket and we've given the kids. We do school book bags. We have on August 28th, you guys are all welcome to come down. August 28th, we are doing a book bag supply giveaway where we are giving every single kid, no registration, no sign-ups. You can show up and get a book bag full of supplies, food, have fun, go on their day. We've done that now. This will be the 3rd year we've done this. We've never asked for anybody's help besides us. Once again, we do parades. When it's a special someone that wants a parade because they can't go out or they're disabled or something, we do a parade with the cars and the motorcycles. Yes, we play music. Yes, we rev the engines. But never once did the police get called saying, oh, they're being annoying, oh, look at this one again. Never once has that ever happened. Because that is the trust and the loyalty we have in our president and our founder to respect when he says, listen, this is what we're doing, we can't do this, and we do it. In the past 3 years, never once did anybody from the police department get a phone call from us saying, or from anybody saying that the Los Contrecantes is making too much noise. Never once. That just shows how much control we have and how much respect we have for our own community, all right? And once again, we give a lot to the community, and we don't ask for much. We're just asking for just this one day, 3 hours. That is it. And we've already heard from the council that you can't really hear the music. You can barely hear the music. Now, granted, there'll be more cars. We're gonna have a DJ. We're gonna have a music. We're gonna have dance competition. For actual people to dance. But everybody's welcomed. Everybody's welcome to join the dance competition. It's to have a fun day. And once again, though, the music was tested in the back. You couldn't hear it. So obviously, the music isn't a problem at this point. And then to answer anybody's questions on the COVID, any one of us can get COVID right now. Okay? So just having this any one of us right now could pass each other COVID, okay? Not only that, they're opening the schools back up in September for all the kids to go 100% back. So right there is another problem. Ours is September 18th. That's 3 weeks after school starts. Okay, so I'm not trying to, I'm not here to fight with anybody who's against us. You know what I mean? Because we love everybody. If you hate us today, we're gonna love you today, no matter what. All right, we're gonna do a parade for you. If you vote against us, we'll still do a parade for you guys. But we just want you guys to know that we've been here for a long time. We've been here for 3 years, and never once did this community. How do I say it? Never once have you guys heard, I don't want to swear. Nobody badmouths us. Never once did you hear, those Los Contrecantes are this, and this, loud music, this. No.
Preach.
We have been nothing but respectful to the community, respectful to every community we've been to, and if you ask the kids, these past 3 years, kids have been having it real easy because we're giving a lot to the kids. That's all we want is give back, give back, give back. There's the only way we can get anything is if we give back. We're helping. We just want this one thing. That's it. And that's where I leave it. We just want one thing.
Okay. Tom Lester, 164 wanna just make sure I have this right. So, this is gonna be in the back section of Bergman for the sound test and everything, right?
Yes.
And you have security, everything else, so I mean, no, nothing bad's gonna happen, right? Right? Okay, I'm just wondering, just kind of just seeing how this goes, cause hey, I'm a car enthusiast, so everyone deserves to have a car show, a cruise, whatever car we're running in. So I just wanted to say, so it's gonna be in the back?
Yes.
In the back of it. Are you Jose? Who's Jose? Hey man, how's it going? Alright, hey, that's it. That's all I wanna know is it's gonna be in the back where the sound test and everything was all done. Okay, thank you. That is it.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Amy. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you over there. Go ahead. I'm sorry. No problem.
Alright, my name is Barrios, graduated from, Jamestown High School, 2013. Pretty much I just wanna say, with our group, we're 100% for the community, you know what I'm saying? We keep the community safe. We have never once, like my Sergeant of Arms has said, we've never once gotten a report on us, you know what I'm saying? We always keep everything clean just because we want to do better for the community, you know what I'm saying? I understand everybody's concerns and everybody's issues on COVID and about there being a lot of people and all this stuff. We hosted a funeral where there was a complete shutdown and nobody got a phone call, nobody got a complaint that day, nobody got anything. Why? Because the Los Condrigante bike crew and car club had it on lockdown. Nobody was informed about this, right? Alright. I can assure you that this event will be 100% safe. Nothing's gonna happen. Nothing's gonna happen. And if something does happen, like we said, they'll be asked to leave. It'll be done in a proper manner. And it'll be done right, you know what I'm saying? That's all I gotta say. Thank you.
Good evening. First of all, I'm sorry for interrupting. I didn't see the microphone over there, so please forgive me for that. Good evening. My name is Amy Holland, and I am a new resident of Jamestown, about 3 months. So this is my first city council meeting, and I'm actually live on Hanley. So I live at the bottom of the hill, and so my concern is not one of noise. You know, in my experience here, I live in a neighborhood that has a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit. And needless to say, most cars that hit the bottom of the hill are not going 30 miles an hour. So there is a lot of noise, but I do have concerns, of course, about, you know, that level of traffic, and particularly because I live in a neighborhood with children, with elderly neighbors, you know, with animals. I've seen a lot of close calls. I've seen, you know, just a lot of difficult situations. And, you know, really for me, my concern is when we're talking about safety, when we're talking about disruption, you know, by the time that we would say, well, you know, there's an unfortunate incident, it's too late to correct that. So, you know, I do believe in the diversity of our city. It's what makes it a wonderful place. So first of all, I applaud all of you for coming out, and, you know, I hope that there is a good solution that works for everyone. That would definitely be my goal. You know, I know I'm late in the conversation, but, you know, I think I would just ask if there is a venue that makes more sense so that the traffic is not directed through a residential neighborhood. And I think, you know, for those of you who are attending, if the event goes on as planned, I would just ask that you are mindful and that you are, you know, reminding those visitors who are coming into town and into our community that we live here and that we do have a right to be safe and that we do have a right to be comfortable. So that is what I wanted to share this evening. Thank you for your time.
I just wanted to let her know, with the whole people thinking there's gonna be racing and all this, nothing like that's gonna happen. I assure you, like I said, we've had plenty of events that we've done and nothing's occurred, you know what I'm saying? So on the safety note, it's gonna be completely 100% safe, you know what I'm saying? And my guys, we might not be known, but we're pretty much certified in our, we have Marines, we have people that have gone through stuff and have gone through procedures to make everybody safe, you know what I'm saying? So nothing will happen that day, promise.
Hello, my name is Juan Rivera. I'm the founder of the Unique Car Club out of Dunkirk, New York. Yes, you guys have heard of the complaints that I've had down there, the problems that I've had. I've actually spoke to one of your councilmen. He's called me. All the guy is asking is for an opportunity. No, he's asking for a window. It's not much to ask. You only, he asked for a window. If it works out, it works out. If you guys approve it for him, and it works out, that's good for him. If it works out and stuff goes bad, it's bad for him. And then, you guys could vote on it going forward for the following year. I'm from Dunkirk, New York. I've done 2 of them. I did one at the Chautauqua County Fairgrounds. I went to the city clerk, I asked for my permits. They told me I didn't need one, so I went out with my show. Yes, cars come from all over the place. I was expecting anywhere from 500 to 700 cars, probably the same amount of cars that they're gonna be expecting. I didn't get 500 to 700 cars. I got 1,200 cars plus at the Chautauqua County Fairgrounds. I had over 3,000 people there attending. No gunfire, no arrest. The only person that got the tickets was me. Because they said I needed a loudspeaker permit, but when I went to the city told me I didn't need one. They took my permit away from my next show. We went through all the steps we had to do over the council. They approved it. I just had my last show Saturday. It was a success. The Contrincantes brought home 33 trophies from my car show. 33 trophies. I didn't put in for a loudspeaker permit for a car audio. I only put a loudspeaker permit for a DJ and a band. And I got approved for it. So there was not gonna be a car audio at my show. I have another car show coming up October 9th. I'm not having a car audio. I think one down there in Dunkirk, and if you guys let him have one up here, I think that would be plenty enough for, the distance. He's not a bad guy. I've known him, I've been doing these shows for 5 years. So the ballpark's all on your guys's. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sanchez, and I'm an autistic boy. I love music. I always go with my mom. She has a lot of music too. I love this car club and stuff that we're doing.
Jameson. I reside at 16 Newland Avenue, Jamestown, New York. I originally grew up in New York City, and I mean, coming from such a huge city and coming to a small town, and all of my family still resides in Staten Island, New York, you know, I kind of lost a lot of camaraderie and a lot of sense of group and a sense of family moving from New York City. And, you know, for the first time since joining Los Contrincantes last year, I can say that I finally feel like I have a family back. What we do is more than just about the cars. It's more about what we do for each other. You know, we never feel like there's a competition between who has the nicest things on the car. It's about the fact that we all want to be a family and we all want to help each other. And that goes for anybody in Jamestown. You know, unfortunately, there's a lot of bad things that are out on these streets, and it's more readily available being that we are in a small town and there's not a lot of entertainment for young kids, you know, and we're trying our best to open those positive alleys of entertainment for children at a young age. And that's so important to me, especially being that I have 2 young boys. And, you know, being a part of this crew has shown me more about being a selfless person, you know, and then being given opportunities as a growing business owner, not only for AJ's Custom streetwear, but, you know, I'm in the works of opening up my own food truck, and I've gotten numerous opportunities from being in this club. And that means so much to me, because it's not about what we do for ourselves, it's about what we do for each other.
Yes.
And that's just something so heavy on my heart, and I'm so proud to be a part of that. And yeah, you know, maybe some people may not like the music, it's not their kind of thing, but at the end of the day, it's a celebration of what we are and who we are.
Yes.
And where we want to be in the future. And I hope that, you know, this meeting today takes us in so many other steps and so many other boundaries that we never thought we could overcome, and, you know, get there eventually with time. And thank you for that, giving us that opportunity to take that time from you today.
Yes.
You know, another thing I forgot to say is, at least you guys support him, the police supports him. I didn't have no support. When I do my shows, I do them all by myself. He has, you know, the police support, the community support. When I went to do mine, I asked for police officers when I went to do mine. I was willing to pay for their wages. $35, $45 an hour, didn't matter to me how much it was. I was denied that. At least you guys are giving me the opportunity to have them there to enforce the law. Thank you.
Hi guys, been a while. I'm a little bit too tall for this. Can I move this up? Okay, let him do that. I'm just gonna Thank you, I appreciate that. And you seem like a professional. Hi there, everyone. My name is Christina Cardinelli, and I live on East 5th Street in Jamestown. Thank you so much for having me and giving me the opportunity to speak today. Those country contests, I didn't say that right, but my point still stands. Those Country Contests Car Club, Inc. is a local group led by Jamestown resident Jose Sanchez. The members are not just car enthusiasts, they're humanitarians, as you can see from the testimony today. The group hosts charitable events like the Back to School giveaway at Jackson Taylor Park, which I believe is coming up August 28th. They collect donations to assist families. Recently, I believe they collected shoes for children returning to school. Jose Sanchez, I believe he's here. Excuse me. The group's founder, he actually dresses up as Santa Claus and visits children and gives them presents and visits families during the holidays. The group's mission statement is clear with everything that they do. Give back to the community. I think there are some misconceptions surrounding this event, and I would like the chance to put some of these concerns to rest. The event is intended for families. It's family friendly. It's listed as family friendly. There will be no alcohol, tobacco, or weapons permitted. The event includes activities for children and a limbo contest and multiple dance competitions. So it's not just car oriented, it's not just a car show, it's intended to be fun for the whole family. I do believe that City Council received a list of regulations from Mr. Sanchez. The event rules state that any non-compliant or problematic attendees will have to leave. There will be a security team in place, and also there is the addition of Jamestown Police Department officers as an extra precaution. This organization and this event are very responsible individuals. These are the actions of conscientious community members, and most importantly, this group has never held this event before in the city of Jamestown. This is a first-time initiative. Any similar event held in Dunkirk or anywhere else should not be used as a model for comparison, since this is the first time. Mr. Sanchez deserves the benefit of the doubt to show what he is capable of. If Mr. Sanchez pours his heart into this event, the way that he pours his heart into everything else, I truly believe that we will be seeing a fun, safe, and wonderful event for the city of Jamestown. Personally, I don't want to see Mr. Sanchez grow discouraged if the city stifles his efforts to bring entertainment and money to the city of Jamestown. So on Monday, it was June 7th, it was a Monday, Councilman Jeff Russell and the chairman of Public Safety, Brent Sheldon, approved this special event permit, and I stole this from the notes. According to the minutes, the members approved the application contingent upon an earlier ending time and the understanding that if complaints occur due to noise, an effort will be made to reduce it. I'm here to ask City Council to allow this event to take place and let it take place as the original agreement states. No extra regulations. I stand before you today humbly asking everyone to welcome this effort to try something new. This event could be a great thing for Jamestown. It could be fun for families. It could bring revenue to the city. Let's be honest, at a time where we need it the most. We will never know the potential of this event if we limit this event before it happens, and before it happens for the first time. Mr. Sanchez is an asset to our city. He cares about Jamestown. His group gives back to the community. They feed our children, no questions asked. They provide assistance, and they go where they are needed. I want to see our city embrace this group and what they have done. I want to embrace Mr. Jose Sanchez and all of his efforts, because he embraced the city of Jamestown first, and he deserves that. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, can I rebut one of those comments, please?
Go ahead.
For complete transparency, Ms. Cardinelli is running for Jamestown City Council at large against me, okay? So any time she has a possibility to come at me at something, she often does, which is fine. I understand that. That's politics. But I will clarify this. I asked for some amendments regarding this. The amendments were that I had concerns that before the competition started at 2:30, there would be a period of time, which was several hours, where there was no restrictions on the music. You heard from the gentleman at Dunkirk how many cars were there. So my concern in those statements, just to clarify what Ms. Cardinelli said, was I didn't want 100, 200, 300, 700 cars all playing music at one time, okay? That would be a problem for the neighborhood. That would be a problem for the residents. So what Ms. Cardinelli is telling you now is that she is okay with 700, 800 cars playing music all at one time from 11 p.m. until 2:30. That's unreasonable. When I talked to Mr. Sanchez about that, he had no problem with those restrictions. He understood that and was fine with those amendments.
Thank you. Anyone else like to address the council?
I would just like to address the public. My name is Melissa Peternetti, I live on Faulkner Street, and I was at that council meeting that Mr. Russell is speaking about. He never was once against this event, never. He just had questions. And I hate when I see people trying to smear someone that they shouldn't be smearing. I've had conversations with Jose. I think Jose is a great guy. I've had conversations with Mr. Russell, and I think he's a great guy. And I think the conversations that these two gentlemen have been able to have together is exactly why this event will be a success. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jose Sanchez. I'm the founder and president of the Los Contrincantes Car Club of Jamestown, New York. The only thing we ask for is just one single chance. We're a group of 60 members. I have a chapter in Buffalo. I have a chapter here in Jamestown. We have a bike crew, and we all have the same passion of our community is our first priority. It has nothing to do with cars. It has nothing to do with winning a trophy, because I could go buy a trophy. It's about helping the community and making us succeed in life. And, you know, as a child, I made a lot of bad choices. I was in juvenile detention centers, but my family has changed my life around. And I'm starting to do this stuff for my community because I love my community. I was born here, I was raised here. My kids are honor roll students. My wife works for the schools. I'm a mentor for Jamestown High School. I mentor 2 kids, trying to, you know what I mean, be there and support them. What we have is a group of individuals called family, because that's what we call each other. Just trying to pursue our dream of making this community something better and bringing more things for this community. Give us the chance. You can't judge us based on something we have not done yet.
Yes, sir.
If we do it and it succeeds, it'll be great for the city. If we don't succeed, which I doubt it, because I'm a man of my word, we'll take care, delete the music, and we'll have a regular car show just like you want it. But just give us the opportunity to bring something new to this community, bring people to this community, bring more revenue to this community, more business to local businesses. That's all we want to do. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Jose, were you quoted in the August
Excuse
3rd
me, sir,
newspaper?
we're not
I want to
having-
ask him a question.
You can
I want
ask him a
everybody to
question
hear it.
later. We're not having a
The
debate.
question
today.
is, did you
Mr.
say
Smith,
that the
you're out of
music
order.
is going to be very loud?
We're not gonna have this in the room here. It's been going really well. We're not doing this. Okay? We're not having a back and forth debate in front of everybody. Anyone else like to address the council?
Well, then democracy suffers and information suffers.
Hi, my name is Luis Morales. I'm the president of Los Contrincantes in Buffalo. Mr. Jose Sanchez gave me an opportunity to open a chapter in Buffalo. Last year I had my own club. It got taken away from me by a family member, okay, for something that me and my wife never did. Okay. Jose gave me the opportunity to open a chapter down there. We actually, on the 25th of this month, we're gonna start giving book bags with the Buffalo City Mission. They're doing their haircuts, we're giving book bags. Okay? On that same note, we're communicating with the Children's Hospital of Buffalo. The goal in December to give toys for the kids that don't even leave the hospital. That they stay there all year round. Okay. And all this is getting done because he gave me the opportunity of opening a chapter in Buffalo, trying to make the name of the car clubs, okay, they got a bad reputation. We don't want that reputation. We're not looking for that reputation. We're looking to give back to the community, to help the community in any way. On that same note, last year, they could tell you, when I had my own club, a lady reached out to me and my wife saying that their house burned out in Fredonia. While I had a lady that her house burned down in Buffalo. Both clubs combined, we managed to help both families. Okay, take them toys, take them food, take them whatever came into our hands that people donated to us, whether it was furniture, whatever it was, we did it. We actually helped out 2 families that in the middle of winter, both of them lost their houses. I want to say it was in February, Jose? In February.
Middle of winter.
Okay. Both houses burned down a week apart from each other. Okay. And we managed to help both families without asking nobody. Because I was in Buffalo, I didn't ask nobody in Buffalo for help. I gathered my crew. We started looking, we found things, we took it to them. We kept in communication with Jose, and he was doing the same thing. We didn't ask the city, we didn't ask nobody. Right now, I went to the city mission, and I asked them, what do they need? They said, oh, we don't need nothing. I said, okay, we're giving the community book bags. Do you want to see it? They gave me the opportunity. Okay. All we're trying to do is give back to the community that has been with us for so long. That's all we're trying to do. Thank you.
Thanks. Anyone else like to
I
pass
have
the
one
council?
thing before I can let anybody else talk or whatever. I've been working with the city council, and we've been agreeing with everything. That's all I have to say. If you guys want music from 2:30 to 5:30, you guys will have music from 2:30 to 5:30. No music will be played before then. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Well, if he was allowed to speak twice, I do have one question that I believe Mr. Sanchez was quoted in the August 3rd Post-Journal story saying that the music is going to be loud and then the loudest car wins. And this is what caused the concern. Okay, I just wanted to rebut that and I'll step
Okay, can I make a suggestion that if you have questions for him, that you guys get together after so that other people get a chance to kind of raise some concerns or questions or make statements. I don't want to get into a back and forth debate here. There's too many people as to.
As President goes, if no one else, does anyone else?
Is
have
there
any-
anyone else that would like
If
to
my
speak?
constituent or resident,
Yeah.
I would like to speak as well.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, go right
Okay,
ahead first.
sir. We want the
Because
public
I
to
will-
speak.
I will-
Everybody else done? I mean, I really like to form my opinion based on what I hear. You know, suppose I could get to the microphone. You know, I may not be as eloquent as some of the people here, and I really like to
form an opinion based on the people I hear and listen to.
Maybe your name
You know.
and address, sir, please.
What's wrong? Oh,
Name.
my name is Bob Johnston. I live on Baker Street, near Bergman Park. Like most politicians, you're very eloquent. You got the great story, and it's almost predictable what you're going to say. And it is predictable to the point where it's mind-numbing. I mean, you know what this side's going to say. You know what that's going to say. You know what this group's going to say. You know what you're not going to change anybody's mind. You know, when you hear stuff about decibels and all that type of stuff, you know, whatever they enforce, they enforce. And if they are selective in their enforcement, you know, so be it. I would personally just like to stick now to what I wrote down, and I'm very affected by the opinions of everybody here, and it's like I said, my main opinion is this, is that nobody's going to change anybody's mind here. And so I'm going to say what I'm going to say, and so be it. I mean, whatever the council approves or doesn't approve, it's up to them. They all have to live with it, and I probably would have to live. One other thing I do want to say, I was awake, and I was in my garage when they were doing practice sound, and all I remember saying to myself was, after it ended, was that I was glad that somebody finally said something about that, so I didn't have to hear it anymore. That's what I remember saying. I don't know anything else about anything, but I did hear it, and I live right there. So I don't know what other people are listening to or what they're hearing, but anyway, this is what I wanted to say, and you know, it's take it for what it's worth. Less than a week ago, I distributed mail-in petition cards to some of the homes around Bergman Park. In part, as hoping to generate support for revoking our Public Safety Committee's permit for an event promoted as a competition to be the loudest. That doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I was brought up where, you know, the kids are, I don't want to get off script here. What a variety of people living in the area are being exposed to. Of those I was able to talk to, many were unaware of the event, pointing to maybe they don't read the paper. Most were opposed to it, some were unwilling to put their name on the cards, and one was in favor of it. The one in favor goes by the name of Freddie, and has lived in the area for over 20 years. We had a cordial conversation. I was surprised that he referred to the downtown car show and the Labor Day festival as being mine. Me. They were mine. And that the level of noise he has had to endure over the years was justification for the Los Contricantes event to take place. Out of respect for Freddie and a desire to give him the benefit of any doubt he may have created in me, I stopped distributing the cards. The Westchester Apartments and the Park Meadow Drive homes would be prime areas I did not contact. Okay? I thought of quite a few interesting analogies, stories to tell. I hear a lot of stories tonight, and you know, I listen to them about all the good that the club does for the community. That's great. I'm glad you do it. I mean, who could be opposed to that? I'm not. But anyhow, I thought of a few interesting analogies I could use as comments I heard, and comments I heard that I could use to make a point against the show, but decided to keep things short and to the point, which I'm trying to do now. How is this a good idea? With all the tension around the country and the world, with a short respite from COVID now possibly being overturned, and all the conflicting COVID recommendations being thrown at us, why would our Public Safety Committee entertain the thought of introducing a locally sponsored loud noise competition into a neighborhood where the majority of its residents would think such an hours-long competition invasive? Why would our Public Safety Committee entertain the thought, knowing that many of the same competitors as attended the Dunkirk show will most likely attend this event? An event during which the Dunkirk Police Department was unable to enforce its laws due to the volume of noise and intensity of the situation. A neighborhood that believes one window shaking stereo or one crotch rocket flying by is a rude intrusion to what has always been a relatively peaceful place to live. And yes, it adds insult to injury by approving this, but canceling the Labor Day Festival, a national event for all of us. And like I said, I appreciate the fact that Public Safety didn't cancel the event. I used to think that things that didn't make sense, it was drugs. Now I think it's drugs and politics. There's a place for almost everything, and everything in its place. Bourbon Park and its surrounding neighborhood is not the place for this. Please revoke the permit you issued for this event. And another thing I want to add, I still have time. Stereotyping and all that type of stuff, we work hard not to do that. The guys in Dunkirk, after reading the newspaper articles about that, the organizers and everything, you dropped the ball. You made it, after reading that article, it made me come here tonight, where I'd be home just sitting around waiting for the next loud noise to go by my house. So you think about your friends and your neighbors and your relatives or whatever, your co-club members, and remember, your actions have consequences. And whether this goes through or not, I'm sure it's out of my hands, because I'm sure all the people up on this board have their idea what's going to happen, and they're the ones voting. And I'm sure all you guys know what you want to do. But, just remember, your actions have consequences, and, after this show, if it does take place, there's some complaints about it. I hope they address them, and if you guys have overstepped, I hope they shut you down. And you haven't, and if you made a big impact and everybody's happy, well, good luck. I think that's great. But the guys in Dunkirk didn't do you any favors. And that's something you should remember. And I guess that's all I got to say.
Is there anyone else?
Hello, my name is Angel Rodriguez. I am the dance president of the Country Dance Star Club. I believe we are all humans, and we should know how to express ourselves. We're not in a zoo. We are all humans here. It doesn't matter if you're African American, white, Latino, Indian, whatever. We are all humans, and we all bleed red. And I think we all deserve an opportunity. This is not all about one race. It's about equality, and I think we should deserve that opportunity, because we will show you the love that we have to give all of you. And I thank you.
So if there's no one else, yield the floor to Councilwoman Gruber.
Thank you. I commend the club for their community work, and I agree that it's outstanding what you're doing to help the community. But I sit here as a representative of the individuals who live in Ward 4. And I can tell you, there is not one other event that I have been on city council since 2013 that I have had the outpouring of concern about this event. I have had emails, I have had phone calls, I have had people stop me when I have been out in public to say they are not opposed to an event, but they are opposed to a noise event. They feel that this is not the right venue, not in their neighborhood. And the reason why it is zoned R1 is it's a residential neighborhood. It is not a commercial district. It is not a manufacturing district. It is a residential neighborhood. I have had people tell me who live in the east side of the park, back up on Parkdale and up on Timberlane and up in that neighborhood, that when there are loudspeakers going at the pavilion, they can hear it carried into their neighborhood. And I believe someone had mentioned the fact that noise travels very differently in that area. I was astounded to hear that that could be heard up into that neighborhood. And it was told to me by a council member who happened to be in that area. And it was a wedding event at the pavilion. I have had nothing but concern for the noise, and I know we did have a test. However, that was 2 vehicles and 2 off, okay? I was indicated or informed that there would be testing throughout the day, which meant that at any given time, any number of those vehicles could be fine-tuning their cars. That's different than 2 vehicles going off 30 seconds and over. But it's also for an extended period of, I believe, at least 3 hours for the direct competition. The music and all the other events would be going on throughout. People would be testing throughout the day. And that's what has people concerned, is the noise the volume, the extent of time. People who were there when we were talking, when the decibel meter reading was taking place, the people are right across from the park indicated that no one on that street, and they apparently had talked about it, wanted that event there. It wasn't about the type of event, it was believing it to be a normal car show, and I've been told this is typical for Hispanic car show. I think Jose mentioned that they would do the event with no speakers, they would do the event without, and it was unfamiliar to me when Councilman Russell told me that there was this two-step thing that sounds like backfiring, which in that area could sound like gunshots to people. Not everybody is aware of all of the events that occur at your car competition, and that in and of itself provoked issues for me as to would the police be getting calls that they're hearing gunshots. It's a tense time for everybody, and people have reported on that as well, that people are having a difficult time because of COVID, and that was referred to. This is the first opportunity people have had to be out of their homes in quite a while and felt like we were safe, and we're not safe anymore. The COVID issues are a concern. The primary concern for this event is noise and the impact on the quality of life. Venues were offered. How about State Line Speedway? How about the airport? How about down in Joseph Gifford? Bergman is not the biggest park. Actually, Jackson Taylor Park is the biggest park in the community, which is in a commercial district. You have car dealers, you have businesses, you have supermarkets, and I'm not trying to put this into the ward of Regina Bratman, but no one considered apparently any other alternative location except Bergman Park. So I have to be concerned as a representative. I've even had people call from outside my ward who are not getting responses from other council members who do represent them because they would not hear them out about their concerns about this event. So not only is it impacting my ward, it's impacting other residents who have concerns about this. So to not say anything and to say that it's fine, it's okay, we'll give you a chance. I believe restrictions should be put in place. I believe the number of cars should be limited if in fact it happens there. But I still contend this is a residential neighborhood. People live in a residential neighborhood because they want peace and quiet. I have been told that people moved up to the Parkdale area because they wanted peace and quiet. It's like being out in the woods. However, the impact on people that live on State Street from people walking through the back of the park bothers them because when the park is closed, people go through the back end of it to get into the park. I've learned a lot about Bergman that I never knew till I became the council representative in that area. And it does impact a lot of people, but I can tell you now, one resident from Ward 4 called in support of this event because of the noise, not because of the car show. We have had other car shows, and not one individual ever spoke to me and said, we need to shut this down. The noise in and of itself was the problem for everyone who called me. I can't put up with this. I can't leave my home. I don't drive. I can't leave the neighborhood. One family has an autistic family member, and loud noise causes seizures. Am I supposed to discount them any more than anyone else who wants to have this activity in the park? Or the other people who are on oxygen? Those people matter to me. And I applaud your club, but is this the right venue for that event? That's what I'm asking. I'm asking everyone, including the mayor, who also represents the city, and any other member who has not spoken out in this event, what is your position on the residents of Ward 4 and how they feel about this event? When we have block parties, I can tell you, we have to have everybody's signature sign off on that street that says it's okay. Did anyone in Bergman Park area ever be asked that, do you want this noise event to occur here? That's the question that needs to be answered by everyone. And if you think it is, and I have applauded and said this could be a great event in the right neighborhood, but it's not the right event in an R1 neighborhood, which is residential. The only commercial area in that area is a 7-Eleven. And the other two businesses aren't even open on the day you plan the event. And I forget, Shoot Sawmill, that's it. That's it. The rest of it is residential. So that's who I represent, that's who I'm speaking out on behalf of, because I can tell you, this, every council member got every email and an encapsulation of every phone call I've received about this. But I can tell you, I've never had the outcry and the outpouring about noise. And that's all I have to say.
Mr.
Roger,
President,
that's on the classes. Appreciate that, thank you very much.
Mr. President, I just had a second. Firstly, I'd like to say that I have a lot of respect for the mayor. I think I have a very good working relationship with the mayor. Despite being on different political parties, I have a lot of respect for him. I am going to put him on the spot right here in front of everyone, and I'm going to ask him right out if he is for or against this event. I think it's important that you've heard from everyone up here, and I would like to know the mayor's position on this event. Are you for or are you against this event?
Council members, I forgot this was an actual work session. Councilmember Russell, you were asking if I am for or against this event. I am for this event. I was invited to this event. Fortunately, I would be gone for a wedding that weekend, but I am for it. I think this club has done an incredible job working with the council to explain the process, explain what's going on, doing a test of the car show. This is something that we regularly do ask organizations to do, sometimes not always to this level, but I appreciate the work that they're putting in to ensure that this organization, that this event occurs in the city. I recognize the concerns that individuals have with sound. That is an issue. However, that is the reason for the special event permit. The noise ordinance is exempted for special events. There's a reason it goes through council, so that the council can provide additional limitations for the special event permit or the special event itself. But Mr. Russell, if you are asking me, yes, and I think this group has jumped through hoops to make sure that the event is in compliance with what the Public Safety Committee has asked for.
Thank you for your frankness.
I'd like to ask you, are you for this event in Bergman Park? More specifically, is this the best venue for this event?
I'm not sure what the best venue would be. I mean, it could be in Bergman Park, it could be downtown. We've had car shows in many different locations. Bergman Park is suitable for this type of event, given the fact that other car shows have been held in that area.
But have they been a noise event? The other car shows, I beg to differ, were all showing cars, detailing engines. They were not loud motors revving and all this other carrying on with noise. That's what people are objecting to. Now, one individual said it was an issue if it was a non-noise event.
I guess I don't understand your question, Councilman Kruger.
Well, if you believe then that Bergman Park is because we've had other car shows there, is there one other car show that has been held there that had to do with revving engines and creating a loud noise sound off to see who had the loudest vehicle?
I'm not sure if there was in the city's history other larger events like that. I can say though we've held many large events at Bergman Park that have included large sound. I mean, we've had the Labor Day Festival that included bands, fireworks, all kinds of events.
I haven't received any complaints about Bergman Park about any of those events. As long as I have been representing that board, that has never occurred over Labor Day, over any other event, because it was not considered just a noise, sound off, who had the loudest vehicle.
So, thank you, Councilman Kruger. I will just point out as a point of order to the council, you have every right under the charter to make a motion and second it for the revocation of that permit. I realize there's been a lot of discussions here tonight, so in the interest of business, Mr. President, I would encourage that you guys either choose to make that motion or move on.
Well, at this point, this is a work session. We wouldn't be able to do that until next week anyways, but that would be the voting session. Just a quick note, if everyone's done, since everybody everybody's heard from most of the council people tonight and the mayor himself. Sitting in this chair is always interesting because as a council president, you try to balance what the council's wishes are. I've worked and I've talked to just about every single one of them over the last week. Informed them, I've worked with the city staff, I've talked to them about trying to move the venue. I share some of the concerns that Councilwoman Karuba has about being in an R1 district, but I did go up to that sound check. I take Jose by his word. I'd like to give him a chance to do this. However, I still believe I have a number of concerns. I have concern with the venue. I'd love to see it in a different location, but for various reasons, that doesn't seem to be something that either side wants to work on. The other concern I have, and I still have, is the number of people that will be there and how many cars can physically fit in that park and how many people we should put in that park. As you said, it's not the largest park in Jamestown. It's my understanding that those cars will be parked on parking lots and not on the fields. So I'm concerned about the number of cars that will be on the parking lot or on the roadways in there, and the total number of people. And, you know, it's come up about the whole COVID situation. It's obviously in flux. You know, we don't know what position we're gonna be in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks from now, 4.5 weeks from now. So, I mean, we have to be prepared for the possibility that that may not be able to happen. And not just that, but any other event, just like it was a year ago. So those are some of the concerns that I had mostly. Obviously the noise in that area, but you know, I'm willing to listen, I'm willing to give it a chance, but on the other hand, I would love to see it in a different venue if something could be worked out. Otherwise, you know, I think that, you know, it's been approved already and it'll probably move forward unless someone or the majority of this council feels differently. And again, you know, it's a very difficult position to be in terms of, you know, giving people a chance to do this versus the needs and the concerns of the residents of that area. And again, safety concerns, traffic concerns, noise concerns. Anytime we have an event, those are always concerns and that's why there's an event application. That's why it goes through committee. That's why provisions are put in not only for this event, but for any event that we have. We've done that numerous times. We've come back, changed times, changed numbers of people, changed the locations, and it's been kind of a work in progress. And so, again, those were some of the concerns that I've had. But again, you know, I'm going to sit back and see which direction the council wants to go on this. But it has already been approved. Technically, it doesn't come to a vote of this council. It only goes through committee. It's already gone through committee. If the procedure at this point would be if any council member next week at a regular voting session wishes to bring forth an amendment to either drastically change it or abolish it, that would have to be seconded, it would have to then be passed, and we would move on from there. If not, then it's been approved, and that's the way it'll go. So at this point tonight, you know, I just want to say thank you for everybody to come out. We wanted to listen to you, both sides. And everyone's passionate about it. In a way, it's excellent to see that type of community involvement. I applaud the members of the car club for the work that they do in the community. I applaud the other residents for taking the time to come out. They care about their neighborhoods. They care about peace, quiet, safety, and security. And again, it's difficult. You have to understand where we sit every single day. We get emails, phone calls, text messages, personal messages about fireworks, about motorcycles burning up, about loud cars going up and down streets. The residents have had it. They're tired. They don't want to hear that anymore. They're tired of the noise that's going on. And so that has probably fueled generated a lot of this concern that's come from this. So I would ask the car club members to be respectful of that, to understand how other people feel in the community about that. We want to see you succeed. We want you to do good things for Jamestown. We want you to have your event. We just wondered if that's the best location for it, if there's another place that it could be done. I would be willing to listen and look at that as well. But again, I want to thank everybody for coming out. That is the procedure that would happen. It would, if anything was going to change, it would be after a discussion among this council and then a vote next week. Thank you.
Mr. President, just before you continue, you could just give a minute for the staff to come back up.
Sure, absolutely. Well, we have a regular work session, and we have to go through our regular business for the week for our committee meetings. So again, you're welcome to stay. If not, thank you for coming. We appreciate your input. We appreciate your passion and your concern. Thank you. Busy with the World Series tonight. You have the floor.
All right. I will try to be brief. Our first resolution is for City Clerk Treasurer Jennifer Williams and City Controller Ryan Thompson authorized to attend the NICOM Fall Training from September 20th to September 25th at the Saratoga Hilton Springs, with expenses paid pursuant to Section 77-B of the General Municipal Law. That was approved. We have the mayor has been authorized and directed by the council to execute a quitclaim deed transferring approximately 20 acres of land at 462 Camp Street, known as Country View Estates, from the city to the Jamestown Urban Renewal Agency on the condition that any and all proceeds of sale realized by the Jamestown Urban Renewal Agency be first credited to the city of Jamestown for unpaid taxes and other costs incurred by the city relating to the parcels, and next to the BPU for unpaid utilities relating to the parcels. So that was agreed upon.
One quick question.
Yes.
You mentioned 20 acres, but this is lot. How do we know the approximate size of this lot?
It's,
I think it's in the packet. Let me see which one it was under. It shows the lot.
There's a diagram in there. We should have that.
Do you have that?
Oh, it's in the regular lot. Yeah, no, I don't have that.
I don't think they all, it's just the finance committee, I think, have that.
Of course, it doesn't say. I couldn't do the math.
yeah, it just says lot L. I can't tell from what I can.
It's a vacant lot at this point.
Yes.
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 Teresa Klein plans to build a home there.
Yes,
Yes.
it's for a brand new home, first one in a while, so,
Yeah.
add to the tax base. That was approved. We had our third resolution that the mayor is resource officer beginning September 1st, 2021, ending June 30th, 2022, in the amount of $22,059.80, with $109,479.79 reimbursed to the city, subject to the approval of the corporation council as to form, and that includes salary, benefit, and insurance. Item number 4 that we approved was the mayor's authorized to execute agreement with RK Concrete and Excavating for Jefferson Street, 8th Street to Isabella Avenue, and the total bid amount was $60,750.00, and it was subject to approval of corporation council as to form. Resolution number 5, mayor's authorized to execute agreement with K Concrete for Bowen Street work. And the total amount of that bid was $159,705, subject to approval of corporation council as to form.
Just a quick question on that. Do you know, I know Jeff's not here, but do you know what part of Bowman that is?
Faulkner to Price,
Yeah.
because I did Price on you last year.
Okay. It's the other, somebody asked me and I wasn't sure.
All right, resolution number 6, January 22nd, 2002, the council adopted resolution number 200-201-C03 to suspend the hiring freeze, and at this point, we are hiring for retirement, and that is a replacement in the Department of Public Works. That was approved. Resolution number 7, Kurt Johnson of Shawbucks wants to purchase part of a city parcel to expand his business at Shawbucks on the 2nd Street right of way, and that was agreed upon. The fair market value of the parcel is set at $1,000, and it's parcel number 387.40-3-56. That was approved. And the last resolution was the mayor's authorized to enter an agreement with the county, and that's for snow removal and ice control services for October 31st, 2021 through April 30th, 2024. And noted that it's a 4% increase in the amount in the initial year and 3% for the following 2 years. That was an improvement. And for information, they have started delivering ambulance services, and some of that will be given to the county, but the billing for the first full month is $70,000. And that's all the items we have from finance.
Just briefly, not to put Ryan on the spot, but I know he sent the email out last week about the good news on the sales tax. I don't know if you wanna-
Yeah, I didn't have it prepared, but,
Just a brief.
I'll follow up on that.
Okay, just make sure we go.
Speak back to Vicky, yeah, sorry.
His mind's still in Mexico.
Yeah. And I appreciate, we're trying to be brief. This was a very long meeting. That's all from finance then.
Thank you.
Here, the next one.
Good.
President Bowles?
Yeah.
Just a correction, Councilman Kruba, we may amend the school resource officer resolution. I
Okay.
think some additional numbers got in there, but the reimbursement amount is still correct. Just as a heads up for the council members, I believe we'll take out the $22,000.
Okay, all right. I just read it as it was presented.
Yep, I just want to make the council aware that we may change that and we'll stick it under
I appreciate it.
some update.
Nothing's changed on the number, it's still.
No, yeah, it's just I'm not sure what the
Same.
22, I think it was a
Yeah,
prior
I'm not
contract
sure.
we worked with one.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, was that summer?
Yeah, that's just the summer.
That's just the sum amount, yeah.
That's it from finance.
We'll move on to housing.
I know, I'm getting tired.
Should have double duty for
Okay, the housing, good news, they're doing 10 cases a week at city court. The calendar, they can schedule 15 max, and they're going with the most egregious claims first. They're still working on the backlog from 2020. Some of the cases have been adjourned, as I believe some of the people realizing that the court is open for the housing violation cases that are coming and trying to resolve. So that was good news. On the not so good side, high grass and other minor nuisances aren't going to be addressed, so if that's your major complaint, you're just going to have to deal with it, unfortunately. It's not the highest priority right now. On a tough note, the Director of Development noted that Matt Hanley will be, gave his notice, and he will be finished on September 3rd, 2021. He has 135 active cases, which he's attempting to close out, but not a lot of time to do that. She's beginning to interview for his replacement, but that leaves us with one code enforcement officer who's currently undergoing training, one who's there, and that means we're going to be short a code enforcement officer when we have lots of things to enforce. So we're going to be a little bit behind for a while, so we appreciate everybody's patience. The eviction process moratorium, is Supreme Court through curveball. It looks like high COVID areas, which we are soon becoming, is going to continue the moratorium. It's noted though that it is becoming a hardship for many small landlords. They are dealing with the problems of not getting any rent, and we're hoping that individuals will apply for all of the benefits that they can get, but it has to come from the renter, not the landlord. So even though the landlord is suffering a financial hardship, that's not who the benefits are going to. They're going to the renter, and the renter has to apply in cooperation with the landlord. They have to have proof of payment of the rent, if the landlord's going to get reimbursed. So the documentation of the loss has to come from the landlord, and many people do it in cash, so it's becoming difficult for some individuals to prove what they paid and what the loss was. The announcement for the Hands on Jamestown, there will be an event this Saturday from 8 a.m. to noon. It's in the 8th Street, Buffalo to North Main to Lakeview area. And they're hoping to meet and have a location identified, which may be on Spring Street and vacant lots. On August 26th, which is a Thursday night from 6 to 8 p.m., the area that was supposed to be done on July 12th to 18th Street will be held to do the Hands on Jamestown event that night, and maybe meeting at the 10th Street location that was set up before. And that, there were no resolutions, but we had a full agenda, and actually we had more to discuss, but we ran out of time. So unless the Director of Development, Crystal Surdick, do you have anything else that I didn't report? That's it.
I think you got it.
That's it.
Just a quick question, comment I have about, since, the court's opening but backed up, is there any way that we can get a lot stricter on the grass cutting, even in homes that we have people that actually live but don't mow their lawns, that have become issues of concern and safety? That I know that we have a list of abandoned properties and zombie properties that we know, but there are several others that people just aren't complying with the law, and I think it's time that if we have to wait for the court, it's gonna be next year before we even, and it's ridiculous. It's just beyond control at this point. That I don't understand why people don't mow their lawn, but I think the city needs to get tougher on that and challenge that. I'm kind of hit the wall with those issues. The neighbors are tired of it. They don't want to look at it. It's become there's critters living in these places, and we really need to address it. Comment on that? Or?
President Olson, I'm happy to comment on that if you'd like. There's a couple things. Number one, typically are not mowing lawns where individuals do live on that. However, our team can discuss that. I do want to inform the council that could open us up to claims of trespass upon those properties.
Well, the courts are closed, so we'll just be the ones at the back end of that. So we'll take that. I think we should take that chance.
We're happy to discuss it. We'll prepare a memo for the council, and so that at least you understand the legal ramifications of that, and then try to attempt to take some action.
Thank you.
I just wanted to make a quick statement about housing and the eviction moratorium that's going on. Something that people are not thinking about is that moratorium in effect. And the police chief can maybe elaborate on this. There's been numerous drug raids in the city on known drug houses. These individuals are, SWAT team might hit a house, they go in, they arrest the people, they go into jail, they get appearance tickets, they go back to the residence. I know one house in particular, there's been at least 3 drug raids there. I think the chief knows which one I'm talking about. And these people continue to operate and sell drugs out of these houses with no ramifications other than an appearance ticket. And there's frustration going on with the landlords because they can't evict them as a result of this moratorium with COVID. So that's something that we're seeing in the city, is that individuals are continuously allowed to operate drug houses with no ramifications.
Councilman Russell, I beg to differ. If it's a safety issue or a criminal activity, they can be evicted.
Okay, I stand corrected.
Yep, just to clarify, and I think that may be something that landlords also may need clarification on, is the eviction moratorium is just for people who have loss of income due to the pandemic. And they've gotta be able to document that. So while evictions are behind, like all other cases, evictions can still be filed. And if it's for other issues that are not pandemic and income related, those evictions can still be filed.
I can tell you, I had an individual with a disability who was not in the city, who set a fire, accidentally set a fire in the apartment, and eviction proceedings were starting against the individual.
What was taking place when the courts were closed?
Everything was put on hold. So those cases have started back up again, but no, new cases basically have to get in line.
So obviously during that event, they couldn't be evicted.
Correct.
Move on to public safety. Councilman Sheldon.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had the same resolution that finance did, entering into agreement with Jamestown Public Schools for the school resource officer. And next item is repeal the mandatory court administration fee. We previously passed a mandatory $100 administration fee issued to those appearing in housing and code enforcement court. However, the New York State Unified Court System say that fee is essentially a second punishment, resulting in Jamestown City Court not being able to institute most penalties available under law. We're not collecting that fee as well. Therefore, we are asking that we repeal this law and just use the fine system that is available in housing court. So this will be read on Monday and tabled for 3 days. We have an update on the Police Reform and Reinvention Commission. We were supposed to have a meeting last week, but it was canceled. We rescheduled it shortly, and we will begin the work of implementing the police reform and reinvention plan in the city of Jamestown. We approved the Beachview Block Party, which Mr. Dilts usually attends, on August 21st, and we're going to get it August 22nd.
That's a good one.
You will love it. It's a good one. Next is another block party for the Southern Chautauqua County United Way. This is actually a kickoff event for them to be held in the alley of Pine Street on September 9th from 4:30 to 6 p.m. We approved a special event permit for Go Gold Pediatric Cancer Proclamation to be held September 1st from 2 to 7 p.m. on Tracy Plaza, as well as 3rd Street from Spring Street to Stoner's Alley. This is sponsored by Kaylee's Crusade. And then we also approved a special event for the annual Dan Feather 5K held September 5th from 6:30 a.m. until 11:30. That's the setup and breakdown time. Tony won't be out there running at 6:30. Race starts about 9 a.m. And finally, as we all know, we had quite lengthy discussion and public input about the Los Angeles County's Car Club special events. One thing I did ask the police chief to give us a cost breakdown on policing and how many police officers do you feel would be necessary at this event?
The quote I provided was 8 officers for 6 hours.
Do you have a ballpark figure on this amount?
It was about 2,700. I actually gave it to him before he left.
Gave it to him, okay. Thank you. Does anybody else have any other comments they'd like to make on that?
Mr. President,
Sure.
Councilmember Sheldon, you'd mentioned the repeal of the mandatory court administration fee. That is an ordinance and not a local law.
Okay.
So you, obviously as a council, you can choose to table that should you wish, or you can actually vote on it without any hesitation at the next voting.
Doesn't have to be taken.
Does not require you to table, yes.
Okay, yeah, it's an ordinance / local. Thank you. We will read that then at the next meeting next week. And that's all from public safety.
Thank you. Public Works? Anything else?
resolutions, and 5 were already covered in finance, so I'll go through them quickly. We had the agreement with our Patty to do the work on Jefferson, Isabella Avenue. That was approved. We had, secondly, the agreement with our Patty to do the work on Bowen Street. And again, that was approved. That was, I think it mentioned, was from Price to Balkan Street. Our third resolution was to, again, on finance, suspending the hiring freeze and to hire a full-time laborer due to a retirement. That was approved. The fourth resolution is with the purchase of the property by Kurt Johnson from Shawbucks. And I do have a picture, actually, of the, I have a computer rendition of what he plans to do, and it looks great. And I was at a planning commission meeting where that was given to us, so, and that was enthusiastically approved. Our fifth resolution, again, I think was also covered on finance, and that was for the mayor to enter into an agreement with the county for snow removal and ice control services. And then the two that were not covered yet was a resolution authorizing the mayor to sign any documents related to the submission of a 2021 TAP CMAQ, which is Congestion Mitigation and Air Quality Improvement Program, New York State Department of Transportation, for a transportation master plan. And it's a grant that we are applying for. And I don't know, Mr. Mayor, if you want to add anything to that?
I'm happy to, Councilmember Nelson. So as we do with many grants, we ask council's permission, or I guess I should say resolution, usually requested as part of the state grants that we have. There is a grant program called the TAP CMAQ, as you had mentioned, Councilmember Nelson, that does have to do with transportation as well as air quality initiatives. Our team got together and was looking at several different projects in terms of transportation, and as many of you know, transportation has been a huge issue in the city of Jamestown, from busing to ride shares to taxis to bike lanes to many different modes or intermodal transport. We have heard time and time again, especially from manufacturers, trouble with being able to get workers to work, as well as other issues that we've been experiencing. So as part of that, we've decided to try to figure out how do we connect all the dots to improve transportation in the city of Jamestown. How do we create a more bite-sized or chunked way to deal with this problem? And there is a state grant which is also funded through the federal level called the TAP CMAQ. And we are working on a research and planning grant through that program to create a master transportation plan for the city of Jamestown. A similar plan was done for Niagara Falls as well, and some other municipalities. This is an opportunity for us to identify all the issues that we have with transportation. We know that there are a lot of players in this field, and this is our opportunity to identify all of them and figure out how can we make it better in the city. How can we get people to work, get people to see their families? How do we address those issues for once and for all here?
Thank you. And our final resolution was authorizing the use of 826-ton municipal landfill credits for the disposal of waste and debris associated with the fire on Crescent Street of the Jameson Royal Furniture Factory fire. So that's good news, I guess, that we'll save a bunch of money with those credits. And that's all we had for Public Works.
Thank you. Is there anything else to come before the council before we get the mayor's report?
I just wanted to ask a quick question. I know it seems like it was a long time ago, but it probably hasn't been, so forgive me. Had those series of public meetings a couple weeks ago in the Community Foundation on kind of encapsulating all of the remarks from all of the sessions. I know we don't
community with the Community Foundation, which is helping us synthesize all of the listening sessions. First and foremost, thank you to all of the council members who came. Thank you to all the citizens that came to participate. We heard a lot of the same themes. So we are working with the Community Foundation, who is planning on coming to council to present those findings and some recommendations for changes. However, we didn't want to compress it into the August work session because there's some really good things there that we need to address before we move forward. So we've slowed the timeline just a little bit. We're intending on coming into a September work session to go through that data and make those recommendations. But also in this time frame, we are also meeting with other groups that isn't the public at large. So we'll be having a coffee hour with not-for-profits across the city. We had a roundtable with manufacturers throughout the city. We have a roundtable with small businesses in conjunction with the public market, Jamestown Renaissance Corporation, and others coming this week. So we are doing other ones. We don't want to miss groups, and we want to make sure that we've covered our bases. So we're trying to gather just a little bit more input, and then we should have a presentation by the Community Foundation in September for the council.
Thank you.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I know we've had seems like it's just been a lot going on, but I just wasn't sure where that was going, and I know we can't get the second amount until we've kind of started to spend the first amount, so I wanted to make sure we were on track to do that.
So we can do the second amount without having spent the first amount.
Oh, okay.
However, our reporting would just say we haven't spent the first amount. We do have our first report that is due at the end of the month, end of August, which indicates that we've received the funding and have not yet taken any draw from that funding.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you.
Anything else? If not, it's your floor.
So I have about 3 hours worth of comments. Prepare yourself.
You'd be by yourself. For the last 2.
Thank you, thank you. I still receive the same amount of pay whether I'm here 3 hours or 7. So I actually just have one update from comments from the mayor today. I do not have any executive session items tonight, but I will ask just a brief update from our Deputy Fire Chief, Matt Kuhn, in regards to ambulance billing. Just wanted to keep the council apprised of where that is at.
Certainly, thank you. I'll keep my comments brief. Just a little update, a couple of Jfp updates. Engines 3 and 4, the 2 new engines, are both outfitted and in service at their respective stations. We've had a lot of positive feedback from the public about the looks of the trucks. The members are very happy with the functionality of them and the way that they're laid out, so it's a very successful project thus far. Ladder 1 is beyond its halfway point. I spoke with our representative from Churchill Fire Equipment, who is the dealership that's kind of handling the refurbishment process with Pierce. They are beyond the halfway point with it. We're going to be hopefully going to be getting some more updates in the near future, and hopefully not a lot more of those punch list items. So I think we're on the side of good, and hopefully we'll be able to have that truck back before the weather turns back to winter. They still can't give me a timeline yet on how much longer that's going to be. That it's going to be out there at the factory, but the work is progressing along. As far as our revenue recovery for ambulance transports, 2 weeks ago we received an inspection from Medicare. That's a normal course of business for them. They want to make sure that we are a going concern. That was a favorable inspection, and we did receive our approval from Medicare last week. So that's great news. Medicaid is still pending. Since Medicare sends the benchmark for those approvals, we hope to have Medicaids in as quickly, a short amount of time as possible. We are sending the billables down to All-Star. Our members have been working very diligently to get up to standard for their reporting, so that paperwork does go down to All-Star now. They are processing it forward, so we'll be hopefully able to have some recovery funds coming in, not too much further down the line. We're still completing our pre-hospital care reports on paper, but we are working with All-Star to try to get to an electronic format. Our goal to be onto that will be September 1st. So we'll be notifying our regional state council that we'll be switching to an electronic format. And that's it. I have some statistical data. If anybody wishes to look at anything, I'll be available afterwards.
Thank you, Deputy Fire Chief. I will also note that we are working with the county to finalize the agreement for the New World software to hold fully move our firehouses onto a digital platform. And as I like to joke with the chief, out of the Stone Ages and tablets. So we're very excited for that, and we're moving towards that. Other than that, I have no other updates. You all had a very long night.
Thank you, appreciate that. Before we adjourn, I just wanted to remind everyone, next week, of course, is next Monday's the voting session. We also have the public hearing for the sale of the property in Lafayette and Second Street, right? For the Shawbucks renovations, additions, and that'll be at 7:15 here in the council chambers, right? Just wanted to remind you.
Voting session on the third.
Oh, it's 2 weeks,
Next
I'm
week is the
sorry.
23rd.
I'm ahead of myself.
Look at the
2
calendar.
weeks, we're off next week.
Yeah, we're off.
I can't keep it straight. There it is, 2
It's
weeks
not a
from
voting
tonight.
session.
Enjoy next week, today is worth two. Yeah, got a 2 for tonight. Any other questions or comments?
Yes, just one, please. I've had a few comments about the parks and the condition of the parks. Some of them say there are a lot of cans there, and I know the Parks Department is very busy with Babe Ruth this week, but I think they need a little bit of attention. Crescent in particular has there are a lot of geese or ducks that go into that area. They said the pavilion area is probably in need of some cleaning, because it might be a health and sanitation issue. So if some of that, I know you're busy right now, but can be looked after to try to get debris and trash taken out and that area clean in particular because of the birds that flock in that area. That's all. Thank you.
Just want to say too, for the record, when I run through there, I have to dodge.
Well, okay, so you're aware of it, President.
I don't know, if it rains, I think we're good, but
Yeah, we just-
those poor animals, I mean, nature calls. And